With the emergence of several variants to COVID-19, the debate between the vaccinated and unvaccinated has greatly intensified. On the one hand, proponents of the vaccine continue to maintain that the jab is the best defense anyone has to contracting or becoming gravely ill from the virus. On the other hand, the unvaccinated argues that freedom of choice, along with having developed natural immunity, shouldn't exclude them from certain jobs or limit their access to public venues such as restaurants and movie theaters. Meanwhile, lawyers for the Biden administration suffered a crushing defeat last Thursday when the Supreme Court blocked the president's vaccine mandate for private businesses with 100 or more employees. Indeed, for both sides, the stakes continue to get higher and higher. You see, the conscious mind is where we use logic to reason and assess reality based off of our sensory receptors. Whatever the conscious mind can't perceive physically through any of the five senses is automatically rejected as untrue. The subconscious mind, on the other hand, doesn't rely on physical reality in determining whether a thing is true. This means that if an idea bypasses the conscious or reasoning mind and makes its way down to the subconscious portion of the mind, the idea will be accepted as true without argument. But this story is interestingly different because it involves more than just overcoming the odds. It's also about how when we genuinely want to serve others, every conceivable force in the universe will come to our aid and give us exactly what we need, exactly when we need it. After you see this and hear this story, I want you to please be sure to share this video with as many people as possible, because trust me, you're going to want to bless them just as I am now about to bless you. Without further ado, I now present to you the incredible true story of Mully. With lockdowns, layoffs, isolation, masks, overnight vaccines with mandates that threaten personal freedom, many people, quite understandably, are saying enough is enough. But with all that we've been through since the start of the pandemic, there could still be more adversity to come in the form of an economic meltdown known as hyperinflation. From Jack Dorsey's tweet last month and the slew of rebuttals directed toward him, is hyperinflation really a threat to the American economy? In this video, I'll answer that question as I explain exactly what hyperinflation means and some of the things you can do to prepare in case this storm hits home. I'm Javon Harris of Seek, and today I present to you Hyperinflation, what you should know in preparation. Most of us, if we're honest, are financially illiterate. We simply don't know how money works. We know how to make it and we know how to spend it, but we don't know how to work it. Worldwide, only 1/3 of adults understand basic financial concepts, and 4 in 7 Americans are financially illiterate. With that being said, financial illiteracy isn't entirely our fault. After all, in school, we're taught everything except the things that we really need to know. I don't know about you, but I didn't have a class on financial literacy in high school. teaching me to balance a checkbook or budget money, warning me about the dangers of credit card debt. I mean, not even in college was such a course available. And so, on October 28th of last year, Mark Zuckerberg announced that Facebook was rebranding by changing its name to Meta in accord with their plans to usher in a new way for people to experience the internet called the metaverse.
We've gone from desktop to web to phones, from text to photos to video, but this isn't the end of the line. The next platform and medium will be even more immersive, an embodied internet where you're in the experience, not just looking at it. And we call this the metaverse.
The metaverse, according to Zuckerberg, is an embodied internet where you're in the experience, not just looking at the experience. It shifts our interaction with the internet from a 2D to a 3D space. Why are some people prosperous while others aren't? How can someone grow up poor and one day pull themselves up to make millions or billions of dollars while others remain in poverty? What determines if I'm going to be a have or a have-not? To answer these questions, let's take a trip back to 1875, where we find ourselves on a small farm on a hot summer afternoon in Wayne County, Michigan. The students at Tuskegee not only had to master their academic studies, but also had to learn a trade. This was all about developing essential skills among blacks that would be highly sought after by their white neighbors, so that blacks would be considered valuable members of their communities. The individual who can do something that the world wants done will in the end make his way regardless of his race.